Good morning, SwissWatchExpo.com. Fresh from the showroom here, we're talking about Audemars Piguet this morning. This is an iconic watch of the watch world.
Absolutely, it's been around since 1993.
Yeah, you know, I remember reading that this was considered the first luxury sport watch ever in the world. It was an interesting case because it integrated with the bracelet. It had this feature where the screws on the bezel are integrated, but they're also where you can see them. They were exposed to, I guess, for the first time on a sport watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the interesting things about the screws when they are put through the watch, they actually go completely through the case to the other side. So there is a sleeve and a screw. So it works like a bolt, a nut and a bolt. So
Okay.
the ones from the top are more like the nut, and then the screw from the bottom is more like the bolt. And they actually affix to each other and then compress the body together.
I always wondered how a hexagonal screw that's in a hexagonal hole could even be turned, but now that answers the question. The top ones don't turn.
And there's actually 8 of them, purposefully 8.
Interesting. So when this was launched, it was a much smaller watch in 1973 at the Basel show. This is a kind of a mid-size. This one is 33 millimeter.
That's right.
And this one is steel and rose gold. It's got a diamond dial. It's very thin compared to the other Royal Oaks. And it's got this beautiful brushed finish on the bezel and on the links of the bracelet. Totally different look than this one that's very unusual that we just got in.
Right, so this interesting dial is extraordinarily rare. There've been versions of this color several times, but what makes this one particularly unique are the numbers, the colors of the number. The pattern on the dial is often referred to as a waffle style dial. It's actually tapisserie.
Oh, that's a fancier word than waffle.
Absolutely, everything's French.
So this one is really interesting too because it has this Aran bespoke strap that's with it. It's a stingray strap. It also comes with a more traditional brown crocodile, I suppose that is, but it's got an interesting stitching color on it and another plain black strap. So with this watch you get all 3 different looks. Totally changes the look of the watch to put a different strap on it. Is that something that's easy to change?
It's my understanding that it is, because the screws from each side, as long as you have a good, reasonable screwdriver for maybe for your glasses or something of that nature, just be very, very careful because they do screw opposite ways when you're detaching it.
So it works a lot like a Panerai if you're familiar with how that strap comes on and off. Beautiful watch, very limited production. You can see it's much thicker. This is the Royal Oak Offshore that was launched in '93 for the 20th anniversary of the Royal Oak. The Royal Oak was designed by Gerald Genta. It's considered one of the greatest watch designs ever. He's the guy that also designed the Patek Philippe Nautilus and the Golden Ellipse, the Cartier Pasha, the IWC Ingenieur. So he definitely has a consistent theme throughout. If you think about what his watches look like, even though they span different companies, they all have a similar look to them.
The porthole design for ships and boating was the whole inspiration behind the octagonal shape, which is why there are 8 screws for each corner of the octagon.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So it's interesting too that the Audemars Piguet is still family owned, has been since the 19th century when it was founded in Switzerland, still run by the Audemars family. And they're very secretive about the way they produce watches, about their manufacturing processes. They're kind of a mystery of the watch world to me because a lot of the other companies are so transparent, but it gives them a mystique that is kind of not there in some of the other companies.
Something else too, it's very important to buy Audemars from folks that you can trust to be able to verify that these are actual Audemars, because there are a lot of fakes in the marketplace, and it's real important to purchase your watch from folks like us where we have expert Swiss watchmakers who are very versed in how to make sure that these are the authentic piece.
Yeah, and that gets us back to part of the difference at SwissWatchExpo.com. We have a Swiss-trained master watchmaker as our owner who personally authenticates our watches. We give a authenticity guarantee as well as a warranty. We can ship this watch out to you. We have a great return policy. It's available right now at SwissWatchExpo.com with the box, papers, extra straps, everything you see here.
I think one last note we should make. This is a great watch. A lot of people don't realize that even though that this is a 33 millimeter, it looks great even on larger wrists. And it's very, very thin. It's a quartz watch. You don't see this piece very often. And the two-tone nature of it is just, it's an exquisite watch. So don't be afraid to wear a smaller watch from Audemars. It's classy, it's elegant, and it still is that octagonal shape. You get a lot of style out of this watch.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fresh from the showcase here at SwissWatchExpo.com.